How we doing today, boys and girls? This is Courier-Six coming at you with a new video today, and this is going to be a partial review, partial discussion of what I believe to be probably my favorite piece of prepper materials that I currently own. This is a World War I Italian dynamite case. Now, keep in mind, it doesn't come with the explosives, obviously. It is just the crate that they used to use for transporting such materials in the mountains, either for excavation purposes or trying to find ways to dig tunnels, because for a long time sappers would dig under encampments, sort of things like that, and use dynamite or black powder in order to destroy encampments from beneath. So when it comes to this case, the reason why this is one of my favorite prepper items and one of the items I've picked up from Sportsman's warehouse, if I can go ahead and pause the video and open this up, because it does require the use of two hands with both of these leather straps, you will see when I go ahead and start the video up again and it's open up. Now, as you can see here, I have this box open now. From what you can see here, I do have a fair amount of firearms accessories. You can see on the top layer here a 1911 magazine and a Smith & Wesson Model 39 magazine, a compliant AR-15 magazine for YouTube reasons, another couple of spare magazines for both 1911 and Smith & Wesson Model 39, 4 boxes of M855 ammunition, 20 rounds each, 2 boxes of 50 rounds each, 9mm, 3 speed loaders of 357 Magnum, and then a spare slot for spare magazines, also YouTube compliant. My apologies for that shortcut, as I needed to seal that compartment back up. So as you can see here, this is a neat little container for carrying things, and some of you may be wondering, well, why are you carrying around these magazines or these, well, because in the case of an evacuation, this is going to be in the bed of my truck or in the back seat, under the back seat of my truck, something like that, in an ideal situation. And if that's the case, that means all I have to do, if I need guns, let's say I'm leaving in the morning or I wake up and I need to get out of here because something's going down, let's say, I don't know, there's an earthquake and I need to evacuate, all I have to do is grab my 3 guns that I'm putting on camera right now. I can grab these 3 guns, my AR-15 or my Mini 14, and those 2 magazine holders, and I'm basically set with me and a couple of my co-workers, buddies, whoever I decide to go and get. So this is basically an all-in-one. I already have a med kit in my truck. I already have a set of emergency supplies in my truck, but this is just a grab and go. This is something I do not touch. Anything in this box does not get shot, does not get touched, at least for a year, I want to say, is the longest that I have left ammunition in my vehicle untouched, because I will rotate it out. After about a year, I don't like the idea of using old ammo after I stocked up on 12 gauge for my local Walmart back before they stopped selling ammunition, and that was about 10 years ago. When I stocked up on that ammunition, maybe 5 to 8 years ago, a little bit sooner, but when I stocked up on that ammo, I left it in an ammo can with dehumidifiers. I go to shoot this old 12 gauge, and it wouldn't shoot, it wouldn't pop, because with the age, it just would not work. So now I basically cycle ammo every year, because 9mm isn't expensive, really. 5.56 isn't as expensive as it used to be. And 357 Magnum is getting a little bit pricey, but it's nowhere near compared to something like 10mm or 44 Magnum. So that's basically what this box is something where I will always have magazines available. I will always be carrying ammunition. It's something where if I need to get out and go, I just grab 2 rifles, throw these handguns into a duffel bag, and then I get out of town. And these 3 guns These 3 pistols are always in their holsters, always in my safe. Now, where that safe is, all that sort of stuff, people will say you shouldn't let people know where your guns are, that sort of thing. But the point is, you don't really know the layout of my house, anything like that, so who cares? But it's still one of those where these are always ready to go, where I can just grab them out, get them into a duffel bag along with a few days' clothes, and I can get out of Dodge. And that's just why I love this little case, because with these pistols aside, it's just a handy little storage container. It is something that holds a decent amount of ammo. Keep in mind, I'm not talking about you going Call of Duty, blasting away with like 500 rounds of ammo. 60, 80 rounds of M855 and 100 rounds of 9mm and 24 rounds of 357 Magnum should carry you a long way in the case of an emergency. Oh, I also forgot. Always carry Strike Anywhere matches. You never know. But with that out of the way, this has been Courier-Six. This is my little prepper survival case. And if you can, seriously, pick one of these up from Sportsman's Guide. Sportsman's Guide, not Sportsman's Warehouse. Because they're only about $10, and they are just fantastic little cases. They're heavy, and the straps are a bit short, but they are just fantastic for the price. $10 for this little storage, and it's all steel. It's canvas-coated steel with 2 storage compartments, 3 sub-compartments in the second one. It's just brilliant. It really is, and it holds quite a bit, as you can see. Like, this isn't even me optimizing it. This is just kind of me trying to be reasonable and keep the weight down on this specific box. That's the only real downside to this container, is it does weigh a bit because it is a solid steel box and it's insulated. So, with that out of the way, this has been Courier-Six, and thank you guys for watching. Have a good day. A short follow-up to the video on this case. Some of you may be questioning why there was no knife, and why I have components such as my pistol separate from this case, if it is a grab-and-go situation. The simple answer is that this stays in my truck, and as it sits, I already have knives in my truck. I have a hatchet as well as a entrenching tool from my time in the Army. These pistols, like I said, always stay ready to go in my safe, and in fact, the Smith & Wesson 539 that I have here is my primary home defense pistol, at least for the time being. My usual primary home defense is a Ruger Red Hawk in 44 Special, 44 Magnum. And because of that, all the components that are in this particular package, in this particular box, are very well packed and specifically put in there in regards to a plan I have where if I need to, these items, I will have 3 pistols in case someone else needs one, or I bring a few people along with me because I do have my friends. I have plenty of spare ammunition in here. I have food supplies in my vehicle, water purification processes, and initial magazines when it comes to my arms. So that's kind of why this is stocked the way it is it basically hinges on the concept that what I own will already be ready to go, which it usually is. The only thing I don't keep in here is 12 gauge ammo, and that's just because it is too bulky and too short ranged. Normally I am the one to advocate for something like 357 Magnum as a rifle and pistol combination, but I've kind of switched up to 9mm here recently, just based off the fact that you can get 9mm in a few different pistol caliber carbines, AR platforms, and there are more handguns available in it than 357 Magnum. That being said, I will still continue to plan on bringing my Ruger Security-Six, just solely based on the fact that it is probably one of the most accurate and durable handguns I do own. 12 gauge, yeah, I've pretty much eliminated it from this case. I've stuck with M855, and that's solely based off the fact that it shoots well in both of my 5.56 firearms. If it were up to me, I probably would switch it out with something like 22-250, just based off the fact that 22-250 can reach out a lot further, but the firearms that I do own in it are bolt action or single shot, which does limit it, hence why I stick with 5.56. Other than that, like I said, no real blades needed in this. The matches are solely just based off the fact that I don't have matches in my vehicle, but I always carry a knife in there, a fixed blade and a pocket knife, just as standard procedure. But with that out of the way, I appreciate your time and patience in me editing this in.